Welcome to beautiful Western Pennsylvania. Guys, it's so goddamn cold. My auxiliary 220 heater in my living room went on for the first time since last February. Welcome to Western Pennsylvania, bros and sisters. I'll tell you one thing that's for sure. I ain't in the Outer Banks knows malls. Okay. I have read countless stories about you dudes out there on your big dogs not being able to start your bike or your battery isn't charging. And then you go to find out, you look real good on the bottom left front of your engine where that little pigtail plugs in. It's like a two-pronged pigtail plugs in to your stator. It comes from a rectifier. And I keep on trying to tell y'all sapsuckers and meatheads out there that you have to make that little bracket like I made, and you just don't want to get it. I know you do, and you can, you will, and you're gonna. Okay? I had that same problem, man. I went cruising around and stuff like that there, cruising, feeling all big and bad on the dog, I come back not knowing that it popped off like it ain't no thing but a G-string. Done popped off on me. I didn't even know that. So I go the next morning, or I go that night to go take the bike to work, trying to be all big and bad at work. I need a new battery. Then I'd be looking real good. That's when I noticed. I seen the light. That little thing popped off. So I made. And you can't find these. No one makes these. No one has the common sense to say, hey, you know what, that'd be a nice little thing to make for them dudes. No one makes them. You're going to make these yourself. Because the world is full of stupid idiots. So I'm going to show you what I did. And one of my videos, one of my hundreds and hundreds of videos, it's in there somewhere. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it. So I'm going to have to show you once again. Okay, guys, let's get some light on her. Now, you see where that's bolted in at? You see that? That's a little bracket I made. That's where you bolt it into. That's what it looks like, and that does the job. That does the trick right there. That's out of a piece of 1/8 aluminum. That's a side view of it. You see it right there, guys? See that? Got some good ideas, don't I? Okay, now, as for that, different color on the end of my rear fender, I found silver sparkle. We're going to take the fender off, the rear fender off, then I'm going to fog the end of the fender in with that silver sparkle. I'm going to do just like, I'm going to hit it real slightly, or I'm going to fog it in, then I'm going to clear coat. Depending on what that's going to look like. If it looks okay, if I can blind it, I'm going to clear coat the whole rear fender. Then I'm going to go ahead. I found a mountain scene. It's pretty easy to airbrush. And I'm going to put, I like to find two huskies. I think I found a template stencil, an airbrush stencil with two huskies. We're going to put them right in there like that. And I'm going to airbrush. Possibly in blue, if I can find a nice blue like a cobalt blue or a light blue. Instead of using gray or black, I want to do it in blue. We're going to put that on the rear of the fender. Okay, the front fender is nothing. The front fender is easy to do. Maybe the front fender I'll do later on, but that rear fender I want to get that done next year. But I'm going to take it off this winter, and we're going to fog it with that silver sparkle this winter, and we'll clear coat it this winter. Give it maybe 3 or 4 coats of clear coat, and then I'll wet sand it so it'll be shiny like a mirror. And that way that'll be done, and that'll stop bothering me, and that'll be that. We'll get that done. But yeah, that little hickey for that pigtail, there's a name for that plug. It's probably the rectifier plug. That keeps it in. Without that, guys, that thing's going to continue to pop off. I mean, at least that's what it did for me. Maybe it's not popping off for a lot of you, but for me, if I don't have that bracket on there, that'll keep on popping off. Now, another thing I want to tell you guys is I don't have 4-way flashers on this bike. I do not have 4-way flashers. I did exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hold both turn signal buttons down, and they're all supposed to start flashing. My bike doesn't do that. I tried to even hold them in for 3 to 5 seconds. Still doesn't do it. I have no 4-way flashers. I'm beginning to think this motorcycle is like it was one of the first ones they made. Maybe it's not supposed to have them. I mean, I have turn signals. You know, my turns, everything works fine. Everything works as it should. But I have no 4-way flashers. So, you know, the only way to know for sure is you'd have to take the bike to Kansas, to BigDog, and they'll plug the computer. And they have the software that'll read your computer to see what's going on. You know, if I was to do that, which I don't have the money or time to do that. But, you know, if I was to do that, I would say, hey, you know what? Just wire the horn up to what's there. I don't really care about 4-way flashers anyway, because I never have an emergency anyway. So, all right, it's like 35 degrees outside. I think I'll be able to give you guys a ride video Saturday or Sunday. It's supposed to be 70 degrees, a whole 70 degrees. So every jerk in the world is going to be out around here, because that's probably one of the last 2 warm days left. Then the winter's going to hit us. So in the winter, I need to change that primary fluid. I'm putting Spectra in there, Spectra chain case oil. And I'm going to change the oil again. In the engine oil, we're putting the silicone oil in, and I'm changing the oil filter in. I might get a reusable oil filter. I got to see what's out there. Some of them have fins on them. So some of them are like the custom oil filters. I'll see if they fit this. That I have to make sure first. If they fit it, if not, I'll just get another K&N oil filter with a little nut on top. It makes it a whole lot easier to get it off. So that's a project for this winter, is that rear fender, the engine oil, and the primary fluids getting changed. And maybe I'll polish the engine up again. I'll do inside the fins. We'll repolish the entire engine once again.